Borderlands 2 takes place 5 years after the events of the first Borderlands game. The destruction of the Destroyer has led to the discovery of a mineral called Eridium. A man named Handsome Jack is the main antagonist of the game. He is the new head of the Hyperion Corporation, has taken credit for the slaying of the Destroyer, constructs a large H-shaped base called Helios that blocks Pandora's moon and covers parts of the planet in H-shaped darkness, all the while planning something even more sinister for the planet. Pandora still attracts hunters, as rumors of an undiscovered vault spread throughout the galaxy. Your new team of vault hunters are just that, searching for this undiscovered Pandora vault. The game begins with your team on a train to begin their search, but it is really a trap set by Handsome Jack to kill off vault hunters searching for the new Pandora vault. The vault hunters regroup, post-train wreckage, in the cold literally and figuratively. The Vault Hunters meet the last Hyperion claptrap robot and speak to Angel, who directs them to Sanctuary City, and to join the Hyperion resistance movement, the Crimson Raiders. Once the Vault Hunters arrive at Sanctuary, they are asked to find the Crimson Raiders' leader, Roland, one of the playable Vault Hunters in the first game, and now held captive by a bounty hunter named Firehawk. But Firehawk is actually Lilith, another of the playable Vault Hunters from the first game. And when the Vault Hunters meet Lilith, they are told that Roland is being held captive by bandits. Once Roland, who has been scheming to get rid of Handsome Jack, is rescued, we learn that the new Vault Key is being transported on a Hyperion Corporation train, and the Vault Hunters, along with Tiny Tina and Vault Hunter Mordecai from the first game, move to retrieve the Vault Key aboard the train. But instead of finding the Vault Key, the Vault Hunters find a Hyperion cyborg named Wilhelm. Once defeated, Wilhelm's power core is retrieved, with Angel suggesting using it as the power source for Sanctuary's shield. However, the power core is actually a Trojan horse. It disables Sanctuary's shield and allows for Handsome Jack's moon base, Helios, to attack Sanctuary. But Lilith uses her power, enhanced by the discovery of Eridium, as a siren to teleport Sanctuary away, now existing as a city floating in the sky. Angel later pleads her case, saying that she is being used by Handsome Jack to open the new vault and unleash a creature of lava and Eridium called the Warrior, who can be controlled once its vault is opened. Handsome Jack is using Angel's powers to charge the vault key so that he can access the Warrior. Angel also says that she is being held in a Hyperion facility and that the vault key is with her. After Angel advises the Vault Hunters and the Resistance on the formidable defenses of the Hyperion facility, and after Angel makes a note to keep Lilith away from the facility, the heroes prepare for the assault, while recruiting the last member of the Vault Hunters from the first game, Brick. Eventually, the heroes storm the Hyperion facility and meet Angel, who is revealed to be a siren. She asks to be killed so that Handsome Jack, her father, won't use her powers to charge the vault key. Though Handsome Jack dispatches a great defense to protect Angel, the team make their way to Angel and kill her. This prompts the appearance of Handsome Jack, who kills Roland and captures Lilith, who joined late in the assault. Though captured, Lilith teleports the remaining heroes back to Sanctuary. Leading up to the end of the game, the Vault Hunters and former Vault Hunters learn the location of the new vault, and they then move to the vault, eventually facing off against Handsome Jack. Though he is defeated, the new vault is still opened and the Warrior is summoned, and Handsome Jack orders the Warrior, the last boss, to kill the Vault Hunters. After the fight is over, Lilith discovers a map displaying the location of vaults across the universe. Gearbox released a great deal of DLC for Borderlands 2. Season 1 saw the release of 4 major pieces of DLC, with 5 smaller pieces of DLC comprising Season 2. The last piece of DLC, released June 9th of 2019, sets up Borderlands 3. We'll start with Season 1's first DLC, Captain Scarlett and her pirate's booty. The Vault Hunters travel to the oceanside town of Oasis, under attack by sand pirates who are after the town's little water supply. On their way to find the treasure of the sands, they meet Shade, a deranged man who instructs them to find Captain Scarlett. Once they help to repair his sand skiff vehicle, Shade loans the party the sand skiff and they make for warm water. After fending off an attack on her ship, the Vault Hunters speak to Captain Scarlett, who tells them that the treasure can only be found by assembling a special lens. It is split into pieces, with Scarlett having one piece and her former crewmates possessing the others, and what follows is the Vault Hunters assisting her in acquiring the missing pieces from her crewmates. Once assembled, Scarlett and the Vault Hunters head for Magnus Lighthouse, which has been heavily occupied by sand pirates, frequently harassing the groups as they make their way through. The assembled lens is used to shine light at the top of the lighthouse onto the location of the Treasure of the Sands, on a patch of sand in warm water. Scarlett makes her way to the treasure's location, with the Vault Hunters following, but both parties are eventually swallowed by a sandworm called the Leviathan. They then fight against Captain Scarlett, leading to Scarlett teleporting away and escaping. Then the Vault Hunters fight and kill the Leviathan. Once disposed, the party eventually finds the treasure room for the Treasure of the Sands. Next is Mr. Torg's campaign of Carnage, centered around another newly discovered vault hidden in Pandora, underneath the badass crater of Badassitude. Mr. Torg invites the Vault Hunters to participate in a fighting tournament there, signs the Vault Hunters up, and instructs them to team up with a man named Piston, who only agrees to team up with the Vault Hunters if they can prove their worthiness. After fighting some warriors, the Vault Hunters are struck with gas, and Piston remarks that he has no intention of sharing the Vault's rewards with anyone, or teaming up with anyone. The Vault Hunters then speak to Tiny Tina, who directs them to Pyro Pete. The Vault Hunters enter Pyro Pete's bar, fighting his goons, and eventually fight and defeat Pyro Pete himself, rescuing a captive Moxie. Moxie tells them to find Motor Mama, and after sufficiently completing a task to catch her attention, the Hunters fight against Motor Mama, eventually killing her. As the Hunters achieve victories, their rank increases, and next on their list is the second-ranked Flyboy. Piston has locked the gate to the Forge, where Flyboy is located, intent on obstructing the Vault Hunters' progress. Once they find the key to the Forge, the Hunters make their way through the Forge and eventually confront Flyboy, or they would have, but Piston assassinates him using a blimp nearby. The Vault Hunters attack the blimp, and Piston retreats back to the main arena, where he would finally confront the Vault Hunters as the last fight of the DLC episode. After Piston's large weapon truck is defeated, Piston moves to fight the Hunters, but is killed, losing his life and title to the Vault Hunters. The Vault Hunters, for their victory, are also treated to the spoils of the new vault. After that is Sir Hammerlock's big game hunt, which sees the Vault Hunters traveling to the continent of Agris, eventually to stop the crazed Professor Nakayama from attempts at cloning the deceased Handsome Jack. The DLC starts off with the Hunters meeting Sir Hammerlock, and shortly afterward, meeting a new type of enemy called the Savages. You and Hammerlock fight off waves of savages, and then make for a boat, eventually traveling to Skyla's Grove. Afterwards, the Vault Hunters search for 3 pieces of Handsome Jack's DNA, so that they can be destroyed and Nakayama will not be able to move forward with his goals. Once successful, Nakayama will send the monstrous Wound Spike after you. Nakayama then begins to panic and reveals that he possesses a Handsome Jack DNA sample at his base, the Hss Terminus. The end of the story sees the Hunters storming the base, full of savages, and concluding with a confrontation against the Jackenstein, a monster created by Professor Nakayama. Once killed, Nakayama panics again and makes something of an effort to intimidate the Vault Hunters before slipping and falling to his death. The last major Season 1 DLC is Tiny Tina's assault on Dragon Keep, set within a fictional variation of Dungeons & Dragons called Bunkers and Badasses, and moderated and narrated by Tiny Tina. The Vault Hunters play characters and help to move the story along, with their actions and through their own narration. Within the fictional story of this game of B&B, the goal is to rescue a queen from an evil sorcerer and bring peace back to the land. It starts out with the Hunters encountering some basic enemies. The Hunters later encounter a more fair first boss, and then speak to the citizens of a nearby town of Flamerock Refuge. The Vault Hunters seek to move past the town gate, with the gatekeeper role being taken on by Mr. Torg, and after completing some missions around town, Mr. Torg lets the Hunters through. The Hunters then follow the Queen's trail through a forest. Davelin, the original gatekeeper of Flamerock Refuge, asks for blood fruit from the Vault Hunters, but once it is presented to him, he reveals himself as the main villain, the Handsome Sorcerer. After fighting off Skeleton Kings, the Hunters continue their journey, making their way to a canyon and eventually to the Mines of Avarice. A failed attempt at diplomacy with a Dwarf King leads the Vault Hunters to finding their own way to the Handsome Sorcerer's lair, which requires acquiring 4 runes. Making their way to the Sorcerer's lair, the Hunters battle the Handsome Dragon, and then make their way to a dungeon, Lair of Infinite Agony. This area concludes with a fight against the Sorcerer's daughter, before the final area, Dragon Keep. The handsome sorcerer is fought here and has 3 forms. Once they are all defeated, the story concludes, the land is at peace, and the queen is saved. This story is also supposed to help Tiny Tina process the events of the main game. The most recent piece of DLC to be released is Commander Lilith and the Fight for Sanctuary. It's meant to lead into Borderlands 3 and contains some significant plot developments. The Crimson Raiders evacuate Sanctuary after it is overrun by mutant plant monsters. Sanctuary is also later destroyed completely, and with it, the vault key is lost somewhere on Pandora, after the main antagonist, Colonel Hector, infuses the vault key within himself and forces Lilith's hand. Colonel Hector's plan was to infect the entire planet with a plant mutagen gas to create a world that he believes the Doll Corporation promised him, and he had led New Pandora, a collection of former Doll soldiers, to that end, though the end of the campaign sees Hector killed. The end of the campaign also sees an antidote developed, though at the cost of Cassius's life. And that concludes our video on the full story of Borderlands. Be sure to keep an eye out for other videos in preparation for the release of Borderlands 3. Let us know what you want from Borderlands 3 in the comment section below, and as always, thanks for watching. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from GamingBolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.